5 o'clock on a Wednesday, which means it's time for
Craig and Ryland's Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show. Now, I've got to be honest with you guys. There's good news and bad news. The bad news is there's some really disappointing tricks on this week's show. Like, I mean, absolute trash.
My tricks are just rats.
Yeah, they're trash, aren't they? Yeah, there's not very many good tricks on this week's review show, but it might save you guys some money and hopefully forewarn you that there's some stuff out there that really is not worth buying. We're going to go straight into it right now. Let's have a look at the first review, and the first review is another Peter Eggink product.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first item that we are looking at right now is Frequency by Peter Eggink. Yeah. Now, Frequency has only just come out. It got released a couple of years ago at Blackpool. It's only just come out. And what Frequency is it is a way, it's marketed as a way of making a regular phone disappear from a phone case anytime, anywhere, as long as you've got this gimmick with you. Now, there's a few things that I'd like to point out about this. And the first thing, but before I point out anything about it, let's just talk about the gimmick. So the one good thing about this trick is that the gimmick is quite compact. So the gimmick that you get with this, it just fits into your pocket. You can grab it whenever you want to. And when you need it, it's accessible. And then when you don't need it, you put it back away in your pocket and it's reset, ready to use again in the future. That's the good thing. It is an electronic thing, so you are going to need to charge it up, but one charge lasts a long time. I charged it up for 40 minutes and I've been playing around with it and it's been working really, really well. So from that point of view, it's good. But let me talk about the problems, because we really don't like this, do we? However, we are going to talk about a way that you can do this that makes it potentially maybe worthwhile.
You can do it on a really good trick.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a minute, yeah. Now, first of all, I just want to say this is very expensive for what it is.
Yes.
You know, this is, I think, about £65, £75 for what it is. Now, in terms of the
average... After all, it's an electronic.
Yeah, but still. First of all, when you talk about the marketed effect, which is the phone case vanished, the phone vanishes from the case, this is not making the phone vanish from the case. The ad copy is a little bit misleading, if you ask me, because the way you read the ad copy is you buy Frequency and you're able to make a phone disappear from a phone case. All this gimmick does is provides a subtlety. You see, I'm going to be completely honest with you. In order to make the phone disappear from the phone case, there's 3 different handlings that Peter goes through. The first 2 handlings involve stealing a regular phone out of a phone case. Now, the first handling involves you, under a little bit of misdirection, copying the phone out. Now, a lot of people are not going to be comfortable. To be honest, I don't think I would. And also, the misdirection that Peter suggests as part of the routining, I don't think the misdirection is strong enough. I think people are going to realise. And he says, right, okay, so you're going to steal the phone from the phone case at this point, and then you're just going to put it in your pocket. He doesn't talk about how to cover the fact that your hand's going into your pocket. It's only a 20-minute download. In all honesty, I don't think Peter's ever done this in his entire life. Because one thing that, although I've trashed on a few Peter Eggink products recently, one thing that I do find is he's a very good explainer of magic. He's a very good teacher. And he's always really comfortable with his own creations. But with this one, he's kind of umming and ahhing all over the place. And he's like, right, okay. And it didn't have a live performance. Like, why would you not do a live performance? You know, he on Eye Candy, he performed the trick to his kids. So he's got no problem performing it to family members. I think the reason is he's never done this before because he didn't really fully understand how to explain it. And the first handling, he didn't cover the nuances of the ditch. The ditch just wouldn't work. He gives no reason as to why you put your hand in your pocket to get rid of the phone. The second ditch, it involves sneaking it into your jeans pocket, and he actually says, this isn't going to work very well for me because I'm wearing tight jeans. Well, hang on a minute, Peter. You're filming an explanation for Frequency. If there are clothing restrictions that will enable you to...
Why don't you put untight jeans on?
Exactly. If there's clothing restrictions that are going to stop you from teaching this correctly, how about you just figure out what to wear and wear that?
Yes.
Like, I don't get it. Like, I think it was just an excuse because when he was explaining it, it didn't look like it would fool a blind monkey. And I don't think it's about the genes. I think it's because you've never done this in the real world, because I don't think this would work. I really don't. The only handling that potentially could work is the third handling, which is bluff handling, which is where the phone's not even in the case to begin with. That's the only one that potentially could work. However, all of those handlings have nothing to do with this gimmick. The one thing that I will say about the handlings is you need a very specific type of phone case that not everybody will have. So in order to do this, you're going to have to go and buy a phone case to put your regular phone in. And even then, when you've got that regular phone case, your phone needs to be set up in such a way that it makes it very easy to take out without giving too much away. But you can't use any phone case. You have to have a very specific type of phone case in order to make this work. But regardless, all of that doesn't actually even involve frequency. So when you say frequency is the ultimate way to make a phone disappear, that's actually not really that truthful. Frequency is a way to make it appear that the phone is in the case when the phone has been taken away or there was never a phone to begin with. It's a subtlety. What it allows you to do, it allows you, a spectator can hold onto your phone case and they can feel the phone vibrating inside the phone case. So you get somebody else to phone the phone, and when they phone the phone, they're holding onto the phone, you're holding onto the phone, and they can feel the phone vibrating as if it's having an incoming call. That's what the gimmick is. That's what you're paying your £75 or whatever it is for. Now, it says in the ad copy that you can do PK touch routines with this, although Peter doesn't go into how to do any of those PK touch routines. So how you can do that in the ad copy as well, I don't know. The ad copy says, this gimmick will allow you to do PK touch routines. Well, hang on a minute. I've got a trick coming out with a pack of cards in a bit. Next month, I've got a card trick coming out. It will also allow you to make the Statue of Liberty disappear. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to have to, you have to figure it out yourself, but gimmick will allow you to do that. Like, it's just ridiculous. You can't make that claim on the ad copy and then completely ignore it. And then in the last 3 minutes of the download, after he explains how to do the vanishing phone, he's got a 3-minute montage of another guy doing other tricks with this frequency gimmick. And initially, on the surface, some of them look quite good, bearing in mind that this is a gimmick that allows you to make it look like a phone vibrates. He's got a few different ideas. So he takes a business card and tears a corner off, puts the corner on the business card, holds it, and you can see it bouncing around as if it's like moving without you doing anything. He takes a borrowed credit card, rubs it in his hair, and as they touch it, it feels like it's vibrating. He does this thing where he puts like the old trick with a screw on a bolt, and you hold the screw on the bolt and it unscrews. There's a pen with a borrowed ring on it, and the ring goes along the pen. All of these methods, all of these tricks in this 3-minute montage. There's no explanation for them. There's nothing. It's just a 3-minute montage of another guy doing all of these tricks, and the video says all these are capable of the frequency gimmick, which they are. But the thing you need to understand is the frequency gimmick is designed to vibrate quite loudly so that people think it's an actual phone. So if I just sneak this on, I've got it here. You can hear this, Ryan, and listen. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
They can probably hear that. That's the gimmick. So if I'm holding, just get me a playing card. Just get me a playing card. Tear the corner off that card. Just the corner. That's it. Just the corner. That's it. So if I held this here like this, and I put this on here, and I caused it to... That's not going to be very deceptive, because you can hear a vibrating. So all of the routines that are suggested in the final 3 minutes would work if you were in the loudest possible environment known to man. But if you're in most performing situations, it wouldn't fool a blind monkey. It's a very overexpensive gimmick that really is just a subtlety. It's not even a vanishing phone. What do you think of it? I've kind of gone on about this for a while. What do you think of it? You had an idea for it, didn't you? You said it would work well with something else. What did you say? Siri X Pro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryland said that the only way this would be worthwhile is if you combined it with Siri X Pro. Now, we did a review of Siri X Pro a little while ago. And
I
if you
feel
didn't...
like it's this.
If you didn't see Siri X Pro, which Ryland has the box for here, Siri X Pro basically is a vanishing phone from Hanson Chen. It's absolutely incredible. We gave it a great review. And basically, a phone disappears in a phone case while the spectator's holding onto it. You can use this gimmick with Siri X Pro.
And you can just make it cool so they think it's a real phone. And then
Yeah, exactly. In fact, shall we do a performance of that quickly?
Yeah.
I'll perform that to Ryland, just so this was your idea, but I'm going to perform this to Ryland. Do you mind me performing it?
Yeah.
I'm going to perform this to Ryland, just so you can see exactly what the idea is with this. Okay, Ryan, I'm going to show you something with my phone and my phone case. Are you fairly observant?
Yes.
Good. I want you to watch the phone, watch the case. Keep one eye on the phone, keep one eye on the case, keep one eye on me. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
You'll need an extra eye.
Hard, but okay.
You're going to need an extra eye, but you can share. Look, here's what I want you to do. Can you hold on to the phone? I want to cover it right there with your hand. There you go. Make sure I can't get to it. Keep it right there. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Now you can feel the phone, can't you?
Yeah.
Good. Hold it right there. Do not move a muscle. Do not even breathe. Actually, do breathe because that'd be weird, but don't move. I'll hold this end. You hold that end. Now, Sarah, have you got your phone on you?
Uh-huh.
Can you phone my phone, please, and tell me when it's starting to connect?
Okay. What now?
Yeah, go for it.
Right, okay.
It should be starting to connect, actually.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
now.
Oh, listen. Can you hear that, Ryland?
Yeah.
I've got it on flight mode. I've got it on silent, but can you hear the vibration?
Yeah.
That means my phone's ringing. Okay, hang up, Sarah.
Okay.
There you go. You hear the phone ringing, right?
Yeah.
What if I told you that whole thing was an illusion? What if I told you it wasn't real? What if I told you that there's no way that Mommy could have rung my phone? Because you see, the thing is, Ryland, if you move your fingers, there's no camera. And the reason there's no camera is because, Ryland, there's nothing but a big lump of glass.
That's not glass.
Well, it's plastic. Same sort of thing. So that's Ryland's idea of combining Siri X Pro with the frequency gimmick. And to be honest, it's the only way that frequency actually becomes half decent, by combining it with an actual vanishing phone effect. Or to be honest, like, I've got a frequency here. I've got Siri X Pro. I do Siri X Pro at gigs. In fact, I'm going to be doing a review show revisited on Siri X Pro soon. I think it's great. However, and you know what? I'd probably use frequency because I've got a frequency. I've got a Siri X Pro. I think that doing that probably does add a little bit to it. If you've got Siri
Because
X...
they'll make it think it's real. If it they'll think the phone's real.
But the thing is, they already think it's real. They already think it's real.
Yeah, but it makes it feel like it's all.
My question is, if someone's got Siri X Pro, do you think they need to spend £60, £70, whatever this is?
Not that much.
No, they don't. It's still the vanishing phone trick.
It still
Siri X Pro is
vanishes.
still great. The only
It's
thing
just
this
like
is
an extra thing.
exactly, and that's what you're
It's
paying
just
for.
to
with
make
this.
them. It's just to make them think. Like if you did it with Siri X Pro, it's just to make them think that. Just to make them think a bit more that it's just a real phone because it's calling.
Exactly. So here's the thing. If you are rolling around in a big giant wad of cash, if you walk in, you remember that old TV show, you've never seen it, DuckTales, where they swim in a vat full of money. If you've got your own vat full of money that you swim around in every single day, and you've got money everywhere, then absolutely, by all means, buy frequency, buy Siri X Pro, and it probably adds an extra 2% onto Siri X Pro. If, however, you haven't, I wouldn't bother, because it's just Siri X Pro is great on its own. And by the way, if you haven't got Siri X Pro, or you don't want it for whatever reason, or you're looking for a vanishing phone trick and you're trying to decide between Siri X Pro and this, do not buy this. It is absolute trash. The only reason it's half decent is combining it with a really good trick. I wouldn't recommend this. It's not very good at all. I'm giving it 0%. What are you giving it?
5 because you can combine it with a different trick.
5%. 5% off Ryland, 0% off me. Let's move on with the next trick. Okay, so the next trick we have up and coming is linking onion rings by Julio Montoro. Linking onion rings. Now I've seen everything. That's right. You know, when you think about if you were a real magician and you could really do magic. If you were a real magician and you could really do magic, let's be honest. It's the holy grail to take 2 onion rings and link them together. That's what everybody wants. But that's what Julio Montoro thinks. It's basically, I mean, it is what it says on the tin. You get 2 onion rings and you have the ability to link them together. You're going to perform it, aren't you? You've been playing with these way more than I thought you would. So
I think they're actually kind of good.
I know. We'll talk about it in a
don't like
second.
them, but I like them.
Can you perform it first of all? Would that be okay? I'm going to get Ryland to perform this trick, and then we'll talk about what we think about it. Because me and Ryland got a differing opinion here on this one. So let's first of all have a look at a performance from Ryland.
I used to hate onion rings, but now I like them.
I know, and it really upset me because we used to go to restaurants and I'd order some onion rings and you'd never eat them, and now you just waffle them all off me.
I think magicians should do magic with everything.
Do you?
Yeah, so I've started doing magic with onion rings.
Why not?
Why not? Look, this is my magic trick, my little magic trick that I made. You can go and do that.
Hang on, show them. Look at that. That's actually linked together.
Without being broke.
Yeah.
And I can go pull it off.
Look at that. Linking onion rings.
Look at
That's what dreams are made of.
that was quick.
Very much so. Okay, so that is linking onion rings. Thinking onion rings. The first thing that I'd say is it's a very short download. It doesn't need to be a long download because it's a very simple trick to do. And if I'm going to give you a positive, I don't want to expose the gimmick here, but let me just take out this one because this is not a gimmick. This really does look like a real onion ring.
It does.
Like, I have to give Julio Monturo credit here. This looks like an onion ring. I remember when he did his Dorito bite. Do you remember when you were biting the...
Oh, yeah, that didn't look right.
That did not look like a Dorito at all. But, I mean, he's gone back to the drawing board. This looks like an onion ring. So, fair play to him for that. However, having said that, you know, that's a good thing. And also, the gimmick does work. It's actually, you know, you can link them together and unlink them. But to be honest, for me, that's where the positive ends. In the tutorial, Julio talks about his inspiration for this was linking polo mints. And linking polo mints makes sense because you can have the polo mints in your pocket, you can open up the packet, you can take a couple of them off, you can link them together, then you can eat them. I know you've got thoughts on this, but let me tell you why I don't like it. There's very, very, very few places that you can actually do this. First of all, let me just say one thing. As a walk-around magician, you're not going to be like, right, hi there, guys. My name's Craig. I'm a magician. Excuse me. I'd just like to show you a trick with a couple of onion rings right here. Watch, I'm going to link these onion rings together. Hey, how good is that? You're not going to do it at table magic. You're going to do it at banquets. In restaurants, you're not going to do it. You're not going to walk up as a restaurant performer and go, hi, my name's Craig. I'm going to be your restaurant magician here this evening. I can see you've ordered the onion rings. Let me grab a couple of those babies off you. Because you'll have somebody going, hang on a minute, mate, get off my onion rings. What are you doing?
No.
What you doing?
Pretend you've just gone for a meal, and you took 2 onion rings, and you did the magic.
Okay, right, you tell them why it's so good. Go ahead.
I think it's good because they link.
Yeah.
Like the link, like.
Yeah, they link, yes. Okay.
I just think the link's good.
Yes, the link is good,
I
yes,
just
we've
messed
discussed
up
that.
there. The link's good.
Yes, it's visual, I'll get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the unlink's quite good.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think it's really good for restaurants
Okay.
because you can pretend you've just had a meal,
Yeah.
or maybe you did just have a meal, and then it would be good for social media.
I suppose
As it says on the box, read that.
Good for social media. Yeah, I know.
Perfect for social media.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only time that I think that this would actually be worthwhile. I could
Or
see a
you
lot
could
of...
say you've just gone for a meal and then you came to the gig if it's quite...
I could see you doing this in a restaurant when you're out with
I
family.
would.
You'd do this. You'd have those in your pocket and you'd order some onion rings and you go, oh, guys, have a look at this. Boom, boom. I could see you doing that. I could also see a TikTok magician doing this and like sitting there and... But it's just like...
At a restaurant.
Just because something can be done doesn't necessarily mean it should be done. Let me ask you a question. You're booked to do a gig, yeah? You're booked to do a gig. And you want to do a linking trick, are you going to do your multi-phase linking ring routine that's killer, or are you going to take your onion rings and do that?
Where?
A close-up gig at a wedding.
What about a restaurant?
Are you telling me at a restaurant you do that?
Yeah.
Fair enough. The only time I could think, I was actually trying to really seriously think how I could actually bring this into a gig.
Social media and restaurant.
The only way I could
Or
think of
pretend
doing
you've
it
just gone to a meal.
would be is if you're doing a chop cup style routine, and at the end of the chop cup you make an onion appear. So you make an onion appear and you go, of course, you know what you get from onions, onion rings, and then you lift up the chop cup and there's like a stack of onion rings and you buy like 3 sets of these and you've got a stack of onion rings and then you proceed to link the onion rings together. That's the only way that I think I could make sense of this.
I would do it at a restaurant or pretend you've gone to a meal before, or social media, which is TikTok, camera thing, or YouTube and Facebook.
Look, if you want to make 2 onion rings linked together...
Me.
If you have a burning desire to link 2 onion rings together, this is the one for you. I'm going to give this 40%. It's well made. It does what it says on the tin. I'm never going to do it. I think it's a bit stupid. Well. What are you giving it?
90.
90% from Ryland. He's going to do it. I believe he's going to do it. You'd take him into school as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I know you would. 90% from him, 40% from me. I think it's a bit stupid, to be honest, but there you go. Okay, so the next trick we have is by Tenyo. And you know what? I've been asked about Tenyo on this channel in the past. A lot of people on the Q&A have actually said, do you like Tenyo, Craig? And I've said, yes, I do like Tenyo. And I do, because some of the stuff that they do is so clever. Some of it's even practical. I remember the rope routine.
I remember
the
one where you take a coin from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of practical stuff, but I love Tenyo mainly because of how clever a lot of their stuff is. You know, the olden days with crystal cleaver and things like that. So clever. And I understand why people collect Tenyo items. And then there's some new Tenyo tricks that have come out. And people have said, oh, you're going to review the new Tenyo tricks? Are you going to review the new Tenyo tricks? And I'm like, yeah, of course I will. I wish I hadn't. Because frankly, this first one here, I think Tenyo have lost the plot. I'm telling you right now, I think Tenyo have lost the plot based on this trick, whatever it's called, snack attack or something. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst trick we have ever reviewed on this channel ever.
I think we put this in the bin.
This is terrible. First of all, I'm telling you right now, I don't normally do less than 0%. I'll leave this up to him. But this is getting minus 1,000% off me.
But you haven't even done
I don't care.
Second part of the
I just need to tell them it's terrible. I'm gonna get you to perform it right now because you practiced it. I'll tell you right now, when I gave it Ryland to practice, and I was like, okay, here's the instructions, because they're printed instructions. Here's the instructions. This is basically what it is. Practice it. You just looked at me and you went, are you kidding? I'm like, no. He's like, that wouldn't fool anyone. I'm like, I'm sure you can make it look good. And no, you can't make it look good. No one can make it look good. It's terrible. It's stupid.
The phone doesn't even look like a phone.
It's just stupid. First of all, they might not know what we're talking about. Do you want to perform it quickly?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get Ryland to perform it so you can see exactly what it is we're talking about. And then we'll talk about why it's so terrible, because it is terrible.
I've got a phone here.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like a real phone and does not look dodgy at all in any way, shape or form. I could not possibly think for a second that was not a real phone, Ryland. Mm-hmm.
Now, do you know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to eat it.
You're going to eat the phone?
Through the mask.
Through the mask?
Yes, like this. It is through the mask. Terrible.
Is that it?
That's it.
Dear Lord.
So that was a performance, and you made it look as good as it probably could look, to be perfectly honest. First of all, I don't know why the mask's there. There's no purpose in the mask. I know you like the mask and you want to keep the mask, and that's
I'm
fine.
keeping the mask,
But in terms of the trick, why is the mask even there? It's not like the mask aids with the method. It's not like the mask helps the trick.
Maybe it's just because it makes it look like you're also going through the mask to eat it.
No, it's stupid. It's just, there's no reason to have that mask on there. There's absolutely no reason at all, other than maybe I can't even think. I can't even think why they've got a mask on. So they've got this mask. Then what you basically have here is a bitten and restored phone. And I would love to know which board meeting in Tenyo they had this pitch to them and what they were on at the time when they decided to go, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's make that our 2021 lineup. Because first of all, the major problem with this is the phone. It's like IKEA, it comes flat pack. So it comes in like plastic, and it's all flat, and you have to fold the bits down in order to make the phone, and you get little strips of double-sided tape to stick it all together. But even when you've stuck it all together, it does not look like a real phone, does it? I mean, it doesn't even come close to looking like a real phone. The instructions even say the best thing to do with this trick is to stand quite far away from the audience so they cannot see that it's not a real phone. Trust me, nobody ever, anywhere in the entire history of the planet Earth, anybody who ever watches this trick anywhere in any country at any point ever, regardless of age, regardless of anything, nobody will ever think that's a real phone, because it will not fool a blind monkey.
Yes.
You saw the phone and you were like, is that meant to be a real phone? Thea thought it was a toy phone.
Yes.
She did. She was just, Ryland went over, because Ryland always performs the trick on Thea to practice it first, don't you? And he walked over and he did what he said, and he was really far away from Thea, and Thea was there, and he brought the phone out, and he said, look, I've got Daddy's phone. And she went, that's a toy phone. Didn't she? She it didn't even fool Thea. And just to give you some context here, this fools Thea. Everything fools Thea. That she's the most gullible little girl in the world. Everything fools Thea. You could pull her nose off, and she would genuinely think that you've pulled her nose off. She just took one look at that phone, and she was like, it's not a real phone. Like, it didn't even pass the Thea test. Like, I feel insulted with this trick. It's right, I'm right, aren't I? I'm right.
Yeah.
I'm right. And then
She literally said, that's a toy phone, isn't it?
it's a toy phone. Before he even did anything. I mean, obviously, when you go and proceed to eat it, obviously you're going to realise it's a trick phone. Like, what are they trying to achieve here? I don't even get what they're trying to achieve. Like, if you're going to, like, obviously they're basing this on Coinbite. But
Or Dorito Bite.
Or Dorito, which was just
or
as...
Oreo Bite.
Or Oreo Bite. I quite like the Illusionist Key Bite. I thought that was a good... yeah. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. If they... As I say, the shortfalling here is the phone does not look real. And you perform this...
You don't need this.
You don't need the mask. You don't need the mask. The mask has absolutely no purpose at all, other than maybe, it's COVID time, so...
I got COVID.
No COVID. So the mask is no good. The gimmick is no good. It doesn't look impressed. It's just, there's nothing. It's terrible. It's terrible. And honestly, have Tenyo run out of ideas? Because in the olden days...
I want to swear.
Don't. You know we don't swear. In the olden days, Tenyo came up with something. I remember, there was a thing once with a pyramid, and you put a coin in a little thing at the front, and you covered it up, and it went all around and inside, and you were like, oh my gosh, this is the cleverest thing in the world. This isn't clever. There's no innovation here. This is not why people collect Tenyo. This is just rubbish. This is the sort of thing you'd expect in, like...
Oh, nursery kid making.
Yeah, this is like the sort of thing that you get in a magic kit for kids. Like, for ages 3 to 5, you can now get your preschooler magic kit. You can learn how to make a phone. You can eat a phone. Like, that's what this is. It's not a professional magic. It's not a 10-year magic trick.
You could literally make a phone out of cheese and colour it in.
Yeah.
Well, food colour, and then you can actually...
I don't mind. Exactly. I don't mind that 10-year tricks aren't, practical. If they're a fun method that I like to play with, and people come around the house and I can go, hey, look at this. This is really cool. And I might not necessarily perform in the real world, but at least they're cool and they're fun and I get a kick out of the method. This is absolute trash. It is the worst trick that I've ever reviewed on this channel. I can't see another trick coming out before now and the end of the year. I think this is going to be the worst trick of 2021. I really do. I can't think of anything else.
Wait, what's that thing that we do? We have the...
Yeah, we do at the end of year awards show. Yeah,
Yes.
we'll do that.
That, and this, and we can say this is the worst trick.
Well, at the moment it is. I can't think of anything worse. It's dreadful. I think Tenyo are running out of ideas. That's what I think. I give this minus 1,000%. What about you?
Minus 1 trillion.
Minus 1 trillion. So minus 1 trillion, minus 1,000% from me. Now, if you want further proof that Tenyo...
negative
yeah.
trillion.
If you want further proof that Tenyo are running out of ideas, let's have a look at the next trick, which is another one from the Tenyo 2021 lineup. Okay, so review number 4 is another 10U item. It's another one there, 2021
I hope
items.
this one's good. I haven't seen it.
Well, this you haven't seen this, and I purposefully didn't let you see it because I wanted to perform it for you so that I could get your opinion on camera. Okay?
Yeah.
Which we don't normally do in the review show, but there's a reason why I'm doing this, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm just going to I'm not going to say anything about this trick. I'm just going to perform it for you, and then we're going to hear what you think about it. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a look at a performance. Right, Ryland, I have a deck of playing cards, okay, mate?
Yeah.
I also have an envelope. I'll tell you right now, inside this envelope, there's some jokers.
Okay.
We'll get back to that in a minute. The important thing is the deck of cards.
Yeah.
There's like 52 cards here altogether, yeah?
Yeah.
And I am going to get you to pick one of them, okay?
Yeah.
So do me a favour, just touch one card.
That one.
That one there. It doesn't matter whether I see it, I'm allowed to see it. The 10 of hearts.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that card? You happy?
Yeah.
Good stuff. We'll put the rest of the cards away. So like I said, in here, we've got some jokers. We've actually got 6 jokers altogether, which means if you combine the jokers with the 10, we have in total of, how many cards?
What?
6 jokers and 1 card makes...
7.
Have you forgotten how to do maths?
No.
Exactly. Now, the jokers are going to go
got
down on the
some.
table. So we're going to put 1 joker face down, there,
Yeah.
and then 1 joker face up. Okay? And then this joker goes face down, and this joker goes face up.
Okay.
This joker goes face down, this joker goes face up, and that leaves you with the 10, right? Now we're going to try and do something remarkable with this 10. Watch, if I just take the 10, touch it to this joker, and flick, when I do, that 10 turns into, sorry, that joker turns into a 10. I'll do it again. Watch, if I take this joker and give a little flick, this one turns into a 10 as well. I'll even do it with this one. Look, all I have to do is give a little rub, and this one turns into a 10. Now, when I do this, people turn around to me and they say, I didn't know what was going to happen. Go slowly. So you can see the joker, can't you?
Yeah.
I'm going to put it in between the other 2, rub everything around, and when I do, that one turns into a 10. Like, it's really crazy. Let's take these 2 10s and this joker, and all I have to do is take this joker, wave it over the 10s, and when I do, that one turns into a 10 as well. That leaves us with 1 last joker. So hold your hand out for me. I'll put this 10 in your hand, and I'll take the joker and I'll put that in your hand as well. Now all you have to do is wave your hand over and snap. Turn it over. Because now, look at that, you've got a 10, you've got a 10, and you're not going to believe this. Because frankly, my friend, I don't believe this. But what's absolutely incredible now is that every single one of these cards, all the way through, every single one of them have changed to become your 10 of hearts. What's the matter? What's the matter?
Nothing new.
It's nothing new. What do you mean? It's the brand new 2021.
It's literally nothing new.
What do you mean? It's the new...
It's literally wild card.
It's literally wild card.
It's just wild
No, it's not
card.
wild card, mate, because it's Tenyo's new trick.
It's wild card. That's literally what you have here. It's not. It's literally nothing new. Nothing new is here.
I completely agree, which is why I wanted to show you this on camera, because I know you love wildcard. I know you do it in your act, and I just needed to know that. I just wanted to see your reaction. And not only is it wildcard, but they've got 2 different handlings of it. The first handling is just ridiculous, okay, so there's just no point in it. I'm not even going to go into the first handling. The second handling, which they call the advanced handling, uses a glide and an all-round subtlety. Yeah, and the glide is normally the basic method for doing most wildcard routines. Like, you use a ham and count, don't you?
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is there's nothing new here. If Tenyo only really release a few tricks every year, what makes them think that this is there's nothing new. It's wildcard. But what they've done is they've added this deck of cards. Pass me the deck of cards. They've, in order to force a 10 of hearts, because obviously a 10 of hearts needs to be forced, rather than teaching a very simple card force, they've supplied a gimmick deck. So you have to carry a deck of cards around with you in order to do the force of the card which will then allow you to get into the wildcard plot. Now, they say in the instructions it's because they want to make it accessible to all. But I've seen many Tenyo tricks in the past when they teach a cross-cut force. Why do you need to give a special deck of cards away when you could teach a cross-cut force and still make it just as simple? And it'd be very easy to get away with the misdirection or the time misdirection with the cross-cut force, because you get them to do the cross-cut force, you bring out the envelope, you'd show the jokers, you put the jokers down, and then you go into the actual force. It feels like they've added this deck of cards in order to make it as if feel like you've got more than you actually have. So rather than just having a packet trick, which is basically what we have here, all we have is a packet trick, or you got something else with it as well. The cards are really flimsy and cheap. Feel those cards for me. Have a feel of those. The cards are really flimsy. They're really cheap. They're not very nice at all. They're not sort of, they haven't got a very nice finish. They don't fan very well.
Oh, they definitely don't.
They don't, do they? They're really not nice cards. There's, you know, but the key thing is there's nothing new. It's difficult to rate this because wildcard's great. I mean, you do wildcard, I do wildcard.
Hang on, I've got a good idea to rate it.
Go on.
It's an exact copy of wildcard, so it gets 0% because they're just copying something. 0. Well, minus.
What do you mean? I mean, wildcard.
Minus 1,000. Because they've just copied one.
But wildcard has been around for years.
Yeah, but they've just copied it. That's why I'm giving it minus 1.
Right, okay. Wildcard has been around for years. There are so many different variations of wildcard. But it comes down to me, with Tenyo, you expect something clever, you expect something new, you expect something unique, you expect something different. You don't expect the same trick that's been around for decades to just be rehashed and just given out again as if it's something brand new. 0% from me. Minus 1,000, did you say? Minus 1,000 from Ryland, 0% from me. If you want to learn wildcard, I would go elsewhere as well, because these cards really do not feel nice, and you don't need a deck of cards to do wildcard. You can literally, you can do it with, with much less than that. So 0% from me, minus 1,000% from Ryland. Let's have a look at the last trick of this week. Okay, so the final review, and we normally only do 4 reviews. The reason we've done 5 is because the 4 reviews we kind of put aside to do this week were just dreadful.
Dreadful.
Hey, you liked the onion ring thing, didn't you?
Exactly. The 3 ones, not these ones. Not these.
Yeah.
But the other 3.
Hey, we got about this right now. So I wanted to throw a 5th review in for you that was really good. And this came about because I visited Prop Dog a little while ago. And I saw this on the shelf. And Alex said to me, have you seen Cupit? I'm like, yes, I've seen Cupit. I've done it for years. I learnt it from the book Don't Forget to Point. I didn't realise that this was available as a special gimmick deck of cards. I had to kind of make it up myself. And he said, yeah, it's available. I said, is it new? And he said, I think it's new, or it's come back into stock recently. It's not been around for a long time. I'm like, that's good enough for me. Mainly because a lot of people on this channel have been asking about Cupit. I performed it to Ryland and Thea about a year ago on a Magic Live. And since then, so many people have asked to where you can learn it. And the only place I learnt it from, excuse me, was the book Don't Forget to Point by Pitt Hartley. Which you can't get anymore. It's out of print. So you can now get it. Yeah, you can't get it anymore, unfortunately. Well, it's not by Pitt Hartley, it's by the whole of the Flicking Fingers team. But in that book was Cupit by Pitt Hartley. Well, it's now available as a standalone deck, and this is one of my favourite tricks. This is one of the most commercial card routines that you will ever see. And I know it's available in Prop Dog. I know it's available from other Magic dealers. You want to get this immediately because this is so good. I love this. And I can't believe it's available. And the deck, I made my own deck up when I read it in Don't Forget to Point. This deck is so much better than the deck I made up. I'm actually going to be using the deck that it comes with from now on. Let me perform it for you. First of all, I'm going to give you a quick performance so you can see what it looks like. And then when I've performed it, I'll talk about what we think.
Yeah.
Ryland, we're going to do something with a pack of playing cards, all right, mate?
Yeah.
I want you to see that they're all there, they're all different. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Now, here's what we're going to do. I want you to watch very, very carefully.
Okay.
We're going to give the cards a shuffle, first of all. Very important that the cards get shuffled. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a standard rule in card magic. Yeah. Do whatever trick you want to, but shuffle the cards first of all. So I'm going to give them, always shuffle the cards. Is that a good shuffle, do you reckon? Have I given them a good shuffle? Yeah, very good. Now, we're going to put some cards away in the box. You get to decide how many. So as I go through, you're going to say stop. Wherever you say stop, the ones that are left in my hand, we'll put in the box.
Stop.
There.
Yeah.
So put those in the box, just here, like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure I don't touch them. So now we've got all these cards. Would you like me to give them one more shuffle? The cards that are left.
Go on then.
Go on then. One shuffle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. One shuffle. Now you're going to pick a card. So as I go through the deck, just say stop.
Stop.
You're happy with that card right there?
Yeah.
We got the Ace of Clubs. Now, what you need to understand is in every deck of cards, there's 26 perfect matches. A card that's identical to that card in every way. So with the Ace of Clubs, the perfect match would be the Ace of Spades, because it's black and it's an ace, right? Take that Ace of Clubs and just put it face up somewhere into the middle that you want to. You want it right there?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Now, think about this for a minute. We shuffled the cards, yeah? The cards were shuffled. You said stop. You picked a card. You put it back wherever you wanted to. You put it right here next to this card. I think it's pretty incredible that you were able to find the Ace of Spades. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can go one step further. Okay?
I thought the Ace of Spades would be in there.
Nah. Say stop.
Stop.
Right there, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take the two cards that you stopped at. We've got a 7 of clubs and a Jack of diamonds. So the perfect match to the 7 of clubs would be...
7 of Spades.
And the perfect match to the Jack of diamonds would be...
Jack of Hearts.
You're getting really good at this. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll start with the 7 of clubs. As I deal cards on the table, just say stop.
Stop.
There, are you sure?
Yeah.
You want it to go on or you're okay?
I'm okay.
I'll put that face up there. And we'll do the same thing with the Jack of diamonds. I'm going to deal cards on the table. Just say stop.
Stop.
Right there, you sure? So think about this. You stopped, and you where you stopped, we've got the two cards. We've got the 7 and the Jack, yeah? You then decided where to put them in. I didn't influence you. You decided to put them right there, and you decided to put them right there, didn't you?
Yeah.
What's crazy is you put the 7 of clubs right next to the 7 of spades, and you put the Jack of diamonds right next to the Jack of hearts.
What?
It's crazy. But here's the thing, right? I mean, maybe, just maybe I could influence you to do that. Maybe. But let's see if we can go impossible. I want you to see. There's no matches here. It's not like the cards are especially paired up or everything. Every single card is different. The cards are being shuffled. They're being mixed. Is that fair?
Yeah.
That's fair. You can't get any fairer than this. You do this yourself. I want you to wave your hand over the deck. Snap your fingers. Let's see if you've managed to make the neck. Hey, try it again. Wave. Let's have a look. Oh my gosh. In fact, if you've managed to do this, let's have a look. This one's a pair. This one's a pair. This one's a pair. You've managed to pair from a shuffled deck of cards every single pair of cards in the deck. You've managed to sort all the pairs out.
But they're all pairs.
Yeah.
But
Well, you decided to put some cards in the box earlier on, didn't you?
yeah, so what happened?
And they were shuffled. Why don't you wave your hands and shuffle and snap your fingers over there?
I thought that there would be a king there and a king there.
No, open up the cards. Take the cards out, turn them face up, and have a look. Because now we've got another pair there. We've got another pair there. We've got another pair. We've got another pair. We've got another pair. Ryland, you managed to take every single card in the pack, and you managed to create nothing but a bunch of perfect pairs. Dude, you are amazing.
That is amazing. That always fools me.
It's so good,
Yeah,
isn't
and
it?
I've seen you do this about a year ago on the Magic Live.
Yeah, I performed it to you in theory. It fooled you at the time, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a really great trick. First of all, it's an engaging plot. I do it slightly differently to Pitt. He uses jokers, and he's got this whole presentation of Cupid, and Cupid brings the matching couples together, and he does it as a very romantic trick. I don't do that. I do it more as an influence style presentation, as you just saw. Either way is absolutely fine. Now, the deck that you actually get with it, it is so well made. First of all, the positives about this, you can shuffle the deck, which is great. So the routine that you just saw me do...
Because it's... Well, don't
Yeah, you don't want to give it away, but the deck can be shuffled over and over again.
It's not actually that gimmicked, is it?
It's not really that gimmicked, no.
It's just... I don't want to say it.
Yeah, I mean, you could learn this. So you wanted to learn this, didn't you?
You could make this gimmick up at home.
You couldn't, no.
Oh, what?
You can, but it's a lot harder than you'd think. I made it up from home from the original Don't Forget to Point, and it's a lot harder than you'd think.
I thought you could. I thought all you need was some scissors.
No, it's a lot harder than you'd think. It's very easy to make. I went through 25 decks of cards until I got it perfect. And that was with corner rounders and everything. It was not an easy thing to make look good. And even then, this deck of cards is way better than what I ended up with. Now, it might be that I'm just rubbish at making up gimmick decks of cards. But, what do you mean, yeah, shut up. Advantages. So first of all, this is an instant reset. As soon as you've done the trick, it resets itself back again, so you can immediately do it from table to table. Yeah. It also doesn't require a table. You can do it.
You don't really want to do it table to table.
No, you wouldn't want
because they would like, because what they would do is they'll compare the tricks. They might compare the tricks at the end to see what they've seen, and they'll all go, "I see this trick where all the pairs match up." Oh, we've all seen that.
Yeah, well, that's not to do with this trick, and that's more to do with the fact that that's how you and I approach being booked for a gig. We try to make sure that everyone sees a different set, don't we?
Yeah. So they can compare it and see what they've seen.
Yeah, so that everyone can talk afterwards about what they've seen. But by the by, that's anything to do with this trick. The point is, if somebody wanted to do it again, let's say you're in a restaurant where people don't know each other, you can do it again and again and again.
Yes, then.
And it's all examinable, so when the cards are on the table at the end, everything is examinable. They will not find anything. It can be done in the spectator's hands. I've actually done this in the past many times in walk-around conditions. You can do it in the spectator's hands. It plays big enough to be done in a parlour environment where you don't actually, you can do it parlour and it's still really, really visual. And it's a very different plot. Normally in Magic, especially in card Magic, there's certain plots that tricks follow. The matching couples plot fits in so well. You can do Pitt's presentation with Cupid and matching couples and so on and so forth, or you can kind of do influence, or you can do card control, and it's a great thing for a gambling demonstration, but it's also a really good thing for a story type presentation. It's engaging, it's fun. There's nothing bad about this deck at all. The nicest thing is, as I say, you show the cards look normal. You show the cards at the back, they look normal. You give the cards a shuffle, you're into it. It is so disarming, it really is. It's also not very difficult to do because it's a gimmick deck. The deck does all the work for you. You are going to need to be able to do a waterfall shuffle. As long as you can do a waterfall shuffle,
well, you don't even need to shuffle.
As long as you can do
it.
No, but I think the shuffle makes it. When you're making matching pairs appear, I think you have to shuffle the cards, really, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's very easy to do. I know you want to learn this, don't you? And I think you should as well, because I think this is killer. I think this would fit your app perfectly. I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this since I learned it in Don't Forget to Point, probably about 15 years ago. I will continue to do it. I'm going to get myself another couple of these decks from Prop Dog because I think they're really good, and I don't know how much longer they're going to be around in stock for. I'm going to give this 100%. It's definitely trick of the week for me. What about you?
Yeah.
How many percentage? What are you giving it?
110.
110%. 110% from Ryland, 100% from me. This is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the trick of the week.
Yes. And that's another review show in the back. And that's another review show. Oh, we see. That's another review show in the back. And then the extra one, that's another review show.
No extra ones.
And that's another review show in the
back. Stop it now. No, we're never doing more than 2.
In the back.
2 is too many, to be perfectly honest.
In the back.
And you focus. Right. The thing is, this review show was very interesting because there was not that many great tricks on this week. Unfortunately, that's how it is sometimes. But, if you're wanting one trick off this week's show, I would suggest Cupit. If you haven't got it, it is absolutely amazing. Everything else is terrible. Don't listen to him about...
Shut up!
Linky Gunyon rings.
Your mouth.
He's 8. He doesn't know what he's talking
Shut
about.
Your mouth.
He's 8. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He likes linking wings. But with onions. Wings.
Just saying it, do you not realise how stupid that sounds? Whatever. Guys, we're going to be back again next week, next Wednesday, with another Craig and Ryland review show. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow him, he is the Kid Magician. Just follow Ryland the Kid Magician on YouTube. And don't forget our new show that goes up every Friday. We're going to be back with episode 2 or episode 3 or whatever episode it is, I don't know, where we take a look at the tricks that we've done in the past, the tricks we've reviewed in the past, and we talk about what we think about them, we perform them in the real world. That's getting some great feedback, so make sure you tune into that. That's Friday nights at 9 o'clock. I'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock with magic stuff, but I'll see you again. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye, everyone.